Why did we do that? It's so ugly. Hi guys, it's Anya from Interior Design Hub, back again today with another video. And today we're gonna get inside my brain, the brain of an interior designer, and actually how we think about a space. And I'm gonna critique some of my old designs, stuff I did many years ago. So we're gonna see if I would still do it that way. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this first space is a washroom, a commercial washroom that I did. Wow, I haven't seen the before pictures in so long. This space is typical 70s. You've got that ugly orange floor and, well, burgundy tile. Oh God, it's so ugly. I don't even think I have a good picture of it, but there's like that orange floor that was really popular in the 70s, and then we've got burgundy tile in some of it. We've got these weird sink monstrosity things happening. The partitions are falling apart. So the old floor plan in this space was where you used to walk into it. So you'd go through one door and then there was like a little hallway, and then you'd go through another door into the washroom. And if both doors were open, you could basically see into the whole washroom, which obviously is not ideal, right? So when I was approached about designing this space, I came up with the concept of actually taking where that, so when you, I'm gonna see if I can find a drawing of this. That will help. Okay, so when you walked into this space, you basically had the sinks on one side and all of the stalls on one side. So when the doors were open, you could just see pretty much everything. So what I wanted to do is take the sinks and flip them. And I was thinking like in a mall when you like go in and you kind of loop around and there's no doors. So that was the design concept for flipping everything, so that we didn't need to worry about doors. We'd have our barrier-free access, and it would move the sinks in just a more pleasing way, and then there would be a barrier, so you just wouldn't see into stalls, which is just weird. So the before, I mean, it's 70s, it's ugly, it's orange, it's burgundy, it's gray, it's... My God, this space was ugly. So we gutted it. Everything was gutted all the way down. We had concrete block we had to remove. Like, this was a really intensive project, especially because we actually moved the plumbing, which that costs a lot of money, but in this case it had to be done. It just wasn't to code. We had to bring it up to code. When we were building the new location of the sinks, so we obviously had to switch all the plumbing in, we had to build a new block wall, and that was going to be creating our beautiful entranceway where you no longer had to deal with doors. So the after space, you know what? Actually looking at this, I'm still really impressed. However, there are things I would change. So what I did in this space was I actually did tile from floor to ceiling. It's very heavy use. So I was thinking, okay, how much traffic is in this washroom? And that's really big thought process that you have to have as a designer is, you know, who's using the space and how are they using it? And from a cleaning perspective, I really wanted you to just be able to hose this puppy down. Sounds gross, but it's a public washroom. I wanted it to be as easily cleanable as possible. So we went with tile. I did a two-tone tile. I did the floor that I actually extended up onto the side, and then I did a nice white on the top so that it gave some visual interest. But cost-wise, it actually didn't break the bank because we used pretty simple tiles and just kind of did an interesting, you know, separation of pattern. And I still like it. What I do not like about the space, back then, we still were using a lot of laminate countertops, and it's not the end of the world, but what I have seen the space since, and I will tell you, laminate don't hold up well. So what I would do differently now as a designer is I would really work with a client to say, let's spend a little bit more money and get you a solid surface countertop. Honestly, it's not even worth it at this point to do a laminate countertop in this heavy of a use. Within, 3 years, it's really starting to show its age. Everything else in the space has stayed really intact, but the countertops probably are going to need to be replaced very soon because it's that heavy of a trafficked washroom. Like, think of a mall, like it's just very busy. The soap dispensers tend to drip onto the countertop, so they leave stains because of the type of soap that is used, and then just water and sitting, and then the corner has gotten really damaged. So that's something that, as I've learned that I would not, for a commercial washroom, any longer spec a laminate countertop, because it's, unless it's absolutely like not a possibility in the budget, I would try to find the money from somewhere else. Like maybe don't do so much tile and do drywall or something. I don't know. Like it's, to me, it's now like very high up on the list of what I would have done differently. I did a feature wall. So when you walked in from the hallway, so you're standing in the hallway, I did like a very different white tile, and I just wanted to do something different. And I had seen it in a mall somewhere, and I thought, oh, this would be so cool. It just has like a nice little texture difference. It's just nothing crazy, but just something different. And I still love it. I would never change that. There's two things that I would do differently. Oh my gosh, guys. So I had put up a little person on each one, and it was this beautiful silver mounted, you know, male and female. People made the people do things. I don't know how much I should say. Basically, here I'm thinking, okay, I've seen this somewhere before, and I thought this is a heavy traffic space. They're fine. They've stayed up. It looks great. I'm going to do it at this space. That was a big mistake. So yeah, the people were on there pretty good, but people managed to rip them off, and let's just say the male and the female no longer belonged on separate sides. That's not something you want children seeing. So, note to self, either have it as an actual tile that's like right there instead of something that's added on top, or just, you know, just don't bother, because yeah. Or like a big painted thing. I don't know. It just, what I did was bad. And yes, I had to have them removed very quickly. The other thing I would have done different, and this is like, as when you're a designer, you have to think of like visual lines and space. And for some reason, it never occurred to me that when you walk down the hallways from either side, you're seeing that back wall. And so like, I only, for whatever reason, visualize this place from walking straight in. I wish I had wrapped that tile. So in the picture, you can see in the corner that you've got the beautiful tile that's like the accent tile. And then that little wall is like that entrance wall. I can see if I can show a drawing. So like it goes like this, right? So it's like, boop, boop. And I have the tile here, but not here. I hate that. It literally, after it went up, I was like, oh crap. Like, I just wish I had just done that little L. Like, what was I thinking? Anyways, some things you learn. So if I do that kind of washroom again, which I have a washroom reno coming up, but I'm not doing it like that because we're doing gender neutral, I would wrap it. I would wrap it, do the L. It drives me nuts. Oh, things you learned. So one of the things I wanted was I wanted the washroom stalls installed from the ceiling. So ceiling hung washroom stalls mean that there's nothing on the floor. So that my thought was when you're cleaning, you could just like clean right underneath. So you just whoosh. I know, I think about cleaning a lot. I'm a little OCD. I thought, oh my gosh, this would be great. You could just like clean everything, and it's a busy space. So like whatever happens, it'd just be really, really easy to clean. You don't get that weird gunk. Like I notice these things. So like at the bottom of the washroom stall, you don't get that like weird gunk that like builds up around. Once we actually like opened everything up, we didn't have support in the ceiling in order to do a ceiling hung stall. Oh, it's so sad. So we had to do regular stalls, which is fine. It's fine. It looks fine. There's no complaints about the stalls because they're just a regular stall. I do really feel that it would have looked much better with a ceiling hung stall, but sometimes it just can't happen. Another thing that I did in this space that this is like, it's not just critiquing, I should say. This is, you know, some things that I really liked. So there was this weird 70s wall board on the outside hallway. I don't know what they were thinking. I think it was probably concrete block and they didn't know how to cover it up. And you know what? I just realized that probably in 20 years, somebody's going to look at this and go, what were they thinking? Why did they do that? But I took the floor tile and so instead of it being this way, so instead of the floor tile being this way, I rotated it this way, this way, this way, this way. Long, short, right? 12 by 24. 12 by 24. Instead of like this, there. Instead of this way, I did it this way. Oh my God, that's gonna take 50 million takes. Okay. So I actually recladded that in the hallway outside of the bathrooms, and it just like took the bathroom and tied it down the hallway. And it's actually kind of neat because it doesn't look like it wasn't supposed to be there. So I'm saying that now, I'm looking back on an old thing. I still think it looks really cool, and I'm happy with that decision. So there. I'm sure somebody will say something different later, but for now, I like it. Anyways, that's why I thought this would be kind of an interesting video, because even as designers, things change. So that is the critique / compliment. That is the review of my washroom design. All right, guys, so this was a little bit different, just kind of critiquing some of my old design work. I thought it kind of give you an insight of like how a designer thinks and why we come up with some of the things that we come up with. Just a little different perspective on interior design, I guess. And I mean, if you like it, please comment below. Do you want to see more of the kind of work that I've done? I have some really fun projects coming up, just so you know, that I am going to take you through, because now we're actually able to start working on stuff. So I have a really cool bathroom actually that I'm starting up right now. I'm really excited. We're taking 2 washrooms, a male and a female washroom, and actually making them into one big open space. And it's going to be all gender neutral with a big hallway that kind of just goes like, instead of being 2 separate washrooms, we're going to have a hallway that goes through, and they're going to be individual washrooms. I've got, you know what, I'm going to include a picture of an elevation for you guys so you can see, like, give you a snapshot of what's coming. I'm going to bring you through that whole process. So I've got samples on order right now. We're going to go to site and do a walkthrough before construction starts. Permits are in the works, so this will be a fun one. I'm gonna actually show you guys, you know, beginning to end of an interior design project. And this is what I actually really wanted to do with this channel, is not, I mean, I want to teach you all about design, but I also want to take you guys on the journey of design and the whole process. So I'm really excited because that's coming up. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably be, I mean, maybe I'll do short videos as we go through the process, because honestly, it's probably going to be 6 months before it's done. So I will try to keep you along for that process, and maybe it'll be stuff that I kind of add in on an extra day or something, but that's coming up. If you guys are interested in learning more about, you know, the business of interior design, check out this playlist that I'll include up here, and it actually goes into a lot of different things about the business of design. Also, if you're enjoying this content, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, and also the bell, and you'll be notified for when I make new videos. Thank you very much for everyone who's subscribed. I really look forward to making more videos that you guys like, and if there's something you want to see, please reach out. I've had a bunch of people reach out and ask me different questions, and I definitely try to make videos specifically on those questions. Until next time, guys, bye! You know, just use your imagination, people. Other people did. Why? I mean, I get why, but like, why? I worked so hard on this space. Anyways, okay, I'm over it. I'm not over it. Sorry about the noise. It's a weekend. Everybody does lawn work on a weekend. Okay. Oh, I do have a picture of the little dude. Okay. Aw, I have my man and my woman, and they're in their normal places. They look so cute. You know what, though? It's a little small, actually. Now that I'm looking at this again, like, it should have been, like, the scale is definitely off. I did a video on scale and proportion. I probably should have watched that. I see that now. Okay.